It depends on how I'm getting in contact with them. If they're coming to me via online, then they go to investwithjoe.com. They fill out just a quick form, which is, their name, are they accredited, are they looking to invest at least $50,000, and then a little description about their background, anything relevant they want to say. And then I get that email, and then I follow up with them afterwards via email, and basically we set up a time, and I provide a document that has Ashcroft Capital's information, which includes case studies, our approach, background, things like that. And then we jump on a call and we get to know each other. Now, if they're not coming to me via the online form, and if say I'm just meeting someone for the first time, then I don't talk about my business really, unless they're really inquisitive about it. I just get to know them, and I just go wherever the conversation takes us. I don't have an agenda for, talking about what I'm doing, and I want to build a relationship with them and stay in touch with them, but it won't be centered around my business unless they're the ones who are really asking about it.
Okay. So she went on. I guess she kind of asked, is it your elevator pitch to get them interested and then meet them another time? If so, what does that meeting look like? To get them interested in the deal that you do not have yet, especially if you have not done a syndication before. So I guess what happens when you gain initial interest? So I know you're of the belief, and your approach is you want to secure your investors before you actually find a deal, correct?
Yes.
So I guess maybe you want to talk about that process. I think that might be what she's kind of pointing at.
The question is your initial elevator pitch to get them interested and meet another time. That's the thing. I don't have an elevator pitch. If someone were to ask me, what do you do? And we're at a party or something like that, then I'd say I buy apartment communities, and I do a daily podcast on real estate investing. And that might not be the best approach. This isn't necessarily a best practice. I'm just telling you what I do because you're asking. Because I know there are ways to have that elevator pitch and say something like, I help people get out of the rat race. I hate that. It sounds so cliche and a little sleazeball in my opinion. But something like that. So I help people make a better return than they're making in the stock market or something like that. I just don't do that. I don't have an elevator pitch. All I say is I'm a real estate investor. I buy apartment communities. I've also got a daily podcast. And if they inquire more, then I elaborate more. If they don't, then I go where the conversation goes. The key, though, for what I do, and this is what, Whitney, I think you're getting at, is how do you continue that conversation? You continue the conversation by actually caring about what they're talking about, and then having a common ground and continuing it that way, in a genuine way. If you actually care about what they're talking about, then you can. For example, I recently met with a local investor who filled out the form online, and he happened to be also based in Cincinnati. We had a dinner together, and I don't think he's a passive investor. Even though he said he was in the form, I don't think he's a passive investor. He's an active investor. But he was a really interesting guy. And we're having a board game night here in a couple weeks, and you're coming with Marcella. And I invited him and his wife because why not? He's a really interesting guy. He's probably the most successful person for SEO, most accomplished SEO person in the country. Just next level smart. And there's a lot of bullet points to support that. I won't go into it, but that's how I approach relationships, and it's not necessarily a transactional thing because I don't think he's me investing in deals. It's just someone who I find interesting, and I grow that relationship, and something will come out of it. I guarantee you, something good will come out of it from a relationship standpoint or a business standpoint or something, and by the way, he's not able to attend. He's going to the West Coast to hire a couple employees to bring onto his team over there. But we'll be hanging out again. So that's the approach I take. And as far as the conversation about meeting another time, then I would do that if it is you have a genuine interest in meeting with them about whatever they're most interested in. Now again, if they ask questions about what you're doing, then absolutely tell them about what you're doing, and then there will probably be a good fit because they're asking the question, so they probably have a need. And what we do, we provide tremendous value because we're providing an investment that most likely will beat the heck out of whatever they're currently investing in, and it's passive. So we're with tax benefits. So we already have the best approach for helping them with their investment goals, but I don't force fit that into the conversation. If it comes up naturally, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And the way we can do that, because this is playing the long-term game, the way we can do that is if we have a consistent online presence through a thought leadership platform. Because we can afford to play the long game because we're constantly getting our message out there and building relationships with people, and more people get to know us. If you aren't playing the long game and you don't have a thought leadership platform, then you're going to be in trouble because then it's really transactional. People can get a sense of that they're not being genuine with them, and it's just not going to work out.